Who are the forgotten figures whose acts of bravery helped shape America, yet history barely remembers their names? Across generations, countless men and women changed the nation's course without ever receiving the recognition they deserved. Today, we uncover 10 hidden heroes whose courage helped build America. Sybil Ludington. At just 16, Sybil Ludington rode through the dark countryside, twice the distance of Paul Revere, to warn American troops of a British attack. That night, her daring 40-mile ride rallied over 400 soldiers to defend their land. Yet, despite her bravery, Sybil's name is rarely found in our history books. The next, James Armistead Lafayette. James Armistead Lafayette, an enslaved African American, risked everything as a spy during the Revolutionary War. Pretending to be a runaway slave, he gained the trust of British officers and secretly passed vital intelligence to the Americans. His reports helped secure victory at Yorktown, but history has too often overlooked his name. The next, Mary Elizabeth Bowser. Mary Elizabeth Bowser, once enslaved, worked as a spy inside the Confederate White House during the Civil War. She memorized documents, listened closely, and passed key secrets to the Union, knowing that discovery meant certain death. Her courage saved lives, yet few remember her today. The next, Peter Salem. Peter Salem, a former slave-turned-soldier, fought bravely in the Revolutionary War. He's credited with killing a British major at the Battle of Bunker Hill, a moment that lifted American morale. Despite his valor, his story remains in the shadows of history. The next, Deborah Sampson, disguised as a man. Deborah Sampson fought for freedom on the front lines of the Revolutionary War. For 17 months, she served bravely until her true identity was discovered. Her story reminds us that women, too, stood strong in America's earliest battles. The next, Fred Korematsu. Fred Korematsu stood against injustice during World War II. When Japanese Americans were forced into internment camps, he refused to go, taking his fight for freedom all the way to the Supreme Court. Though his case was lost, his defiance became a symbol of courage against racial prejudice. The next, Clara Barton, known as the Angel of the Battlefield. Clara Barton founded the American Red Cross. She brought medical aid to soldiers in the thick of war and built a legacy of compassion that continues today. Despite her impact, her name often fades behind other historical giants. The next, Bass Reeves. Bass Reeves, one of the first black U.S. Marshals west of the Mississippi, arrested over 3,000 outlaws without ever being seriously injured. He's believed to be the real-life inspiration for the Lone Ranger, yet his incredible legacy rarely reaches the spotlight. The next, Ida B. Wells. Ida B. Wells, a fearless journalist, exposed the horrors of lynching in the late 1800s. Her writing and activism helped ignite the early civil rights movement, demanding justice for those who couldn't speak for themselves. The next, Chiune Sugihara. Chiune Sugihara, a Japanese diplomat in Lithuania during World War II, defied his government to save thousands of Jewish refugees. He risked his career and family safety, issuing visas that gave countless people a chance to live. His bravery went unrecognized during his lifetime, but his humanity changed history. These 10 extraordinary individuals represent the silent courage that shaped America. Their names may not appear in every textbook, but their actions wrote some of the most powerful chapters in our nation's story, deserving honor, remembrance, and a place in history.